Students, as we learned about the call money, now let us continue with share forfeiture. Now, the company secretary has got the list of members, those who have not respond to the call money, and so what are the procedures to be considered by the board of directors? All that is in further explained in share forfeiture. Shares on which call money is not received are forfeited by the company. So the amount which is being forfeited on shares is called your share forfeiture. Now here the definition says that it's the process by which the directors of a company cancels the membership of shareholder and has to remove the name of the shareholder from the list of members on non-receipt of call money. That is, the bank gives the receipt, so they have not received, and with the statutory procedures laid down in the article of company, this has been done. So share forfeiture is a disciplinary action taken by the directors against the non-payment. Articles of the company must authorize for forfeiture of shares. Now, what are the procedure of share forfeitures? First is, the secretary has to prepare a list of calls on shares who has not paid, and on which basis then it's on the basis of pay-in slips which is received from the bank. So first is preparing list of calls in arrear. Arrears means which is not paid. Now second is presenting list of calls in arrears before the board of directors. Now the secretary has to present this list, those who are not paid, to the board of directors for further discussion. Third is sending reminder to members. Now here the decisions are made, and accordingly one reminder is sent to the members who have not paid the call money within the time limit, and they are also intimated about the interest to be paid within the time limit. Now still, if they do not pay or if they do not respond, then now let us learn the fourth point, sending the final reminder. Here, if there is no response according to the first reminder, then a final reminder is sent through the registered post, so that the members cannot give a reason that they have not received, and they have intimated about the due amount including the interest, that is within the 14 days of the receipt, and they will be also warned about the forfeiture of share if they fail to pay the due amount. Now the fifth is resolution of share forfeiture. Shares of those members who do not pay the amount, that is within 14 days, are forfeited by passing a resolution in the meeting of board of directors. Sixth is sending notice of share forfeiture. Here the secretary will send a notice of share forfeiture as the resolutions have been passed in the meeting of board of directors, and with the copy of resolution of share forfeiture, with the notice it has been enclosed, so that the members are intimated to surrender the share certificate of the company. Now the seventh is issuing public notice. The secretary gives a public notice in the newspapers indicating serial numbers of share forfeited, so no transaction is carried out on such shares. Now as we said already that they are intimated to surrender the share certificate and all, but still if the shareholder wants to do something wrong, for that reason only here it has been published in the newspaper with their serial numbers and all, so that nothing wrong happens from their side. Now the eighth is making entries in the register of members. Now after giving public notice, here the secretary makes entry in the register of members regarding share forfeiture, that is the name of the member whose shares are forfeited are cancelled from the list. Now let us learn the duties of secretary regarding the share forfeiture. So what are the duties? Here first is to verify the provision of articles. In articles what we have mentioned about share forfeiture, that the secretary has to go through it. Then List will be prepared according to the members, those who have not paid call on shares. And now the reminders is to be sent as per the resolution which has been passed in the board of directors. Sending the final reminder to the members who has still not paid the call in arrears, and here we are attaching the copy also about their which shares have been forfeited. Fifth is holding a meeting in the board of directors to pass a resolution of share forfeiture and the expiry time and all. Now, so as we said, now the notice has been sent regarding the forfeiture of shares. Seventh is, as we learned, that now the secretary has to put it in the newspaper regarding the forfeiture of the shares by putting the numbers and all. Eighth is, you are making a note in the register of members that with the name that it has been cancelled. And the ninth is getting the resolutions regarding reissue of shares passed in the meeting of board of directors and informing new shareholders regarding allotment of shares and entering their names in the register of members. Now, what are the effects of share forfeiture? The effects of share forfeiture are as under. What will happen with the particular shares? Membership of the member comes to an end from the date of resolution. Shareholder loses the amount already paid on the share forfeiture. Shareholder also loses the right to receive dividend. Shares are forfeited, so the company becomes the owner of the amount paid by the shareholder, and the amount forfeited is credited by the company to a fortified share account. After the reissue of shares, the forfeited share account is closed. So company becomes the owner of the share forfeited, and the board of directors can deal with such shares as they deem fit. And the last is, on forfeiture of shares, share capital of company is reduced and the company can reissue the share forfeited. I hope you understood the effect of share forfeitures. Now let us learn about surrender of shares. Returning the share certificate to the company, that is, it's applicable to physical certificate of shares, that is called surrender of shares. Share certificates are returned to the company under following circumstances. 1. When share certificate is torn. 2. When share certificate become illegal. 3. There is no space left to record an entry of share transfer. 4. Shares are to be consolidated. 5. Shares are to be subdivided. That is surrender of shares. Now the next topic is share lien. Let us first understand the meaning of lien. When creditor receives the right to acquire possession of the property of the debtor and right to sell the same in order to recover his dues in case of the debtor failing to pay his liability, is called lien. That is, when creditor is receiving the right to have the property of the debtor and is ready to sell. Now why he is selling? Because so that he can pay. So here the creditor is ready to recover his dues because the debtor has failed to pay the liability. This procedure is called your lien. Now let us understand the meaning of share lien. Now in Company Act, a company has a lien on only those shares issued which are partially paid up for. By using a lien on share, a company can restrict transfer of such shares, restrict dividend, restrict bonus shares, and restrict right to vote. Let us learn share dividend. Here the company gets a profit at the end of the year and company has to pay the taxes, and this has been done at the end of the year. Now after paying tax, the remaining amount is your profit, and that is called your divisible profit, because you have to divide now that profit with your shareholders and the other categories. Now the remaining profit, when you are distributing among the shareholders, and when they receive that, that is known as your dividend. So the divisible profit distributed by the company among its shareholder on the basis of paid up share capital on shares held by them. Now that can be in the form of a cash or share or in any other form the company has decided. Now the company has decided on, according to the Indian Company Act, it can be paid in two forms, and this is to be paid only in cash form. That is, one is your interim dividend and the another is your annual dividend or the final dividend. Now interim dividend, this is your semi-annual during the year, and the final one is at the end of the year the profit is been given. Now the dividend is to be paid to the equity shareholder as well as to the preference shareholder. Now in the preference shareholder, already we might have discussed, or preference shareholder has a particular percentage which is being set at the beginning. So on that basis the dividend is to be paid. So you have a fixed rate of dividend, and before paying the dividend to the shareholders, that a fixed rate is being set, as we have said. This preference shareholder gets it, but equity shareholder is been kept afterwards. Now the Company Act preference is given to the first priority is given to the preference shareholder, and thus the preference dividend is first paid, and then the board of directors they say how much of the remaining divisible profit can be distributed to the equity dividend. Means the equity shareholder will be getting the remaining amount that will be divided, and that is your equity dividend. Now this has been decided by the board of directors and approved by the shareholder in the general meeting, that is your annual general meeting. After the approval of the equity dividend in the annual general meeting, within 60 days this will be paid. Equity dividend is based on the profit of the company and need of funds for the company in future. The board of directors decides the rate of equity dividend by taking into consideration the needs of funds for the company. So in future, if any requirement comes up, then the funds are ready, and on that basis it can be allotted. Thus it is not legally necessary for the company to declare and pay equity dividend every year, and its rate may, whatever the fixed rate for that particular year, it will be decided, but not for every year. So its rate may be changed year to year. I hope you have understood with this chapter. If you have any doubt, you can ask me personally.